Okay, I find this absolutely ironic. I just came back from handing my wife a video to post, and I do discuss Scott Wolter's dismissal of this head, which destroyed my research. And I come back and I see Scott Wolter on TV, and they're, oh, Scott, you're so good, you're so fabulous. Well, let me tell you something. Wait till you hear what he's saying on TV. This is my history with Scott Wolter. This goes back to 2015. I presented this head with Jim Burchell and Arlie Caudle as a legitimate human head. And Scott Wolter got on TV, said, oh, no, it's not, never was alive, it was just sandstone. And I confronted, I said, no. The nose, all the cartilage is sticking out of the nose, the irises of the eyes, the bone black, the blood, the whole thing. And he refused to discuss it with me. And where do you hear this? This is just unbelievable. Here, listen to this, what I said to him. This is 5-6 years ago. Scott Wolter dismissed the head as simply a carved sandstone head with all due respect on TV, and that's okay, but I confronted him. I jumped in, and I confronted Scott, and I said, what process do you think causes stains at these locations? How did these stains get here? These black and red stains. The only thing he knew was the name of the iron oxides. I know that, and then they're iron oxides, so he simply ignored my question, so I kept after him. But anyway, he claims to be a forensic geologist, and this is clearly geology, and this looks like this guy was a crime victim, so now listen, so he just never responded after I kept after him over. Finally, the last email I got from him was, I'm a trained forensic geologist, and that was his case closed. He has no idea about this. But to be perfectly honest, I was the first one in the world to have ancient DNA, because they said, oh, you can't get DNA out of it. I said, yes, there is, absolutely. You get inside the arterial passageways, you're going to find DNA. Blood is the most preservative of all things there are, believe it or not. I have blood coming out of things that are gushing blood, literally, from rocks. So don't tell me there's no blood in rocks. And I've had them all DNA tested, too. So my point is, here he is 6 years ago denying this. He just put up the video a week ago again saying that this isn't real. And here he is on TV. Watch this. All right, this is Scott Wolter's entire examination, investigation of this, what he called, well, I'm going to let it play. But I had the giants. Jim had this head, which I said that's 100% certain the thing is real. No question whatsoever. We can get investigated, checked out, and everything. I was in the process of having my stuff DNA tested and CAT scanned and all that stuff. And here's what happened. It was all ready to come down as to become a valid science of an area of investigation. And once you go on TV and discredit somebody, it's all over. And this was 6 years ago, and he put it up again last week, this exact same statement. Listen.
I was told that you have a big head.
Well, I'm associated with a big head.
And that's my big head.
Apparently you found an artifact that's a big head. Is that true?
That's true. Would you like to see it?
I would love to see it.
Okay.
Entire investigation.
It weighs 22 pounds.
Wow.
Pretty good sized head.
So, what's your interpretation?
The investigation is over. I think it was like 12 or 20 seconds. Not much.
Well, my interpretation, this is probably a giant, maybe a young giant. If you look at it, this head's been decapitated. And you can see the cross-section of the skin here. It comes down to the Adam's apple.
It was actually decapitated. From a real human.
A real human being. I think there was a human head deposited in this shallow marsh a long time ago, probably cold conditions. And it was in a mineral-rich, oxygen-free environment. And if it was 10, 15, maybe 40,000 years ago, who knows?
So you think this was an actual human head that has basically fossilized into stone?
That's what I believe.
All right, now, at this point, he has spent approximately, I would say, 15 to 20 seconds examining the head. And we have spent years. Anyway, here goes.
To be honest with you, I'm going to respectfully disagree with your interpretation. This, to me, without any doubt, is a...
Without any doubt. Not even a question. Not in today, just last week, he said the same thing. There's no question whatsoever. This is not real.
Sandstone head. It was carved.
Nobody carves cartilage and then moves the flesh away. Nobody carves the irises and starts to deteriorate them. Nobody carves and inserts hematite and magnetite, which is red and black blood, into a carving. And this deserves to be re-looked at.
This feature here is actually some iron staining. Do you think it's possible?
What do you think is in blood, Scott? Iron is in blood. It's FeO2, FeO3. It's iron, Fe.
Possible that this could be
Well, the rest is just nonsense, because he just keeps saying, well, this is just nothing. Maybe somebody carved it symbolically and da-da-da-da. Well, it's not. It was real, and all the things I've presented are real. And for him to do this again last week, let me show you what... Let me just explain it. This is not good. See, this is a book I wrote about the whole story. This is the head right here. Mudfossils and Velikovsky. Minds in collision. That's the problem. The minds cannot accept the facts. And to put this up again last week is not acceptable. Scott Wolters needs to address this immediately. He destroyed my research, destroyed my reputation, destroyed really my life, to be perfectly honest with you. He is not 100% him, but if he had examined this, we wouldn't even be discussing this now. Everybody would be looking into mud fossils, and this would all be underway, which is going to start now. But this is a long time of dismissal, and then putting this up again last week to destroy my research is just not acceptable. Not acceptable at all, and I'll tell you why. Okay, this fellow here, nice guy, he was going to do a documentary on my research that came up here with film and all that business, and set it up and recorded a documentary, basically. And after Scott Wolter got on TV and said it was all wrong, I guess they just wrapped it up. I haven't heard from him for years. I just heard from him again last week. I mean, even just a few days ago, because, people walk away from you after you become discredited. Jim Burchell I haven't talked to since this whole thing blew up. Nobody's, once it all explodes, they all leave. So I claim that is damages 100%. This was going to be a documentary. The book was going to be going along. I was going to start all kinds of things were going to happen. And then Scott put the hammer down. Okay, it can't get any clearer than this. Slander. He's slandering me. Also known as oral or spoken defamation, slander is the legal term for the act of harming a person's reputation by telling one or more other people something that is untrue and damaging about that person. My research was wrong. Slander can be the basis for a lawsuit and is considered a civil wrong. And you recoup what you consider to be the losses, whatever you would have. When somebody slanders somebody, it doesn't have to be on purpose. They don't have to be mean to do it. They could just be totally incompetent and say something that destroys somebody else's reputation. It's exactly what happened to me. So I want this taken care of one way or the other. And, I have 100,000 people on my site, and I have lawyers, and I've been talking to people. So I don't want this to escalate to that level, but there's a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there's Scott Wolters, there's a History Channel, and I don't know who else is facilitating this slander. But it came out again last week. I just showed you the clip. He said last week, nope, not right. Now, if you can do that and then go and prove it, that's fine. But I can prove he's wrong. So I think that I would rather just engage and discuss it, and both of us walk away and have a wonderful life. Or we can engage and beat heads against each other, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to win. And I never walked away from a damn fight in my life. I say, it's not going to start today. So you better straighten up, my friend, and get yourself together and confront what I have presented as facts. There's nothing we can't prove anymore. You know, I know at the time, the first time, that's why I walked away. You know, people make mistakes, and what can I do? What can I say? Everybody was on your side. I understand. But that didn't stop me, and it's not going to stop me now. And then for you to put it up again this last week, that is just not acceptable. I have to close this case right now. That's the end of the story on this one. Okay, here's what I want all of my people to do. I have 100,000 people, and I want as many as possible to try to contact Scott Wolter, his fan page, his Facebook page, anywhere that you can contact him. And I did have somebody yesterday that put up, that confronted him on some chat room thing or whatever that he was on, and said, you have to debate with Roger. Just debate him. Just talk to him. That's all I want. And that's all I expect. I don't expect anybody to jump, oh, Roger's so smart, I was so wrong, I'm sorry. No. Say, let's, just exactly what he said. Things changed. We have more information now. Time to re-examine it, and they won't let him re-examine his stuff. He won't re-examine my stuff. I'll let him. I'm begging him to. And it does not happen. But sooner or later, it's going to happen. Okay, so Scott Wolter refuses to examine the head that he's dismissed as being just carved sandstone, which destroyed my research. Now, listen to this. I just came out after, and I'm not going to let this go, Scott. I'm never going to stop until you address the situation. Now, I could be wrong, I could be right, but just exactly what happened to you now has happened to me for the last 6 years because of you.
And have a scientific proof here, right? But Scott have asked them 3 times, and they said no.
They said no, and I've asked him 12 times.
This is at the time, and we're talking, this is 18 years ago we started this process. You know, as time goes on, technologies improve and our knowledge improves.
All right, I don't want to, just belabor this, but it is very upsetting because just exactly what he said. Things change, technology change. I was the first one to have DNA done on my specimens, and this was, I agree, there was none done before that, so nobody had it. Everybody said, no, you can't get DNA. Well, obviously you can get DNA if you go into the arteries, and if you know, the blood is very preservative. I don't want to go over this over and over and over. My point is, he should stand up as a man, as an honest, moral, ethical scientist, and say, all right, let's take another look, Roger. Maybe something we missed. That's all I am asking for. And I've asked over and over and over. And now he's putting up the same video again, calling me wrong, and Jim Burchell wrong, and Arlie Caudle wrong. After all of our work, my documentary was destroyed because of this. My book I just never even bothered at that point. Everybody's just laughing at me. Even my old family, they still are, because nobody will stand up and examine it. That's my problem, not a single one. No university, none of these people that are making all these claims, which are nothing but guesses. I have the evidence. Okay, so, like I say, it's time to get this done and over. Now, you have to prove damages. Well, I can certainly prove damages. These guys came up here with film and, a crew, and they did the videos and all that stuff, and that was all... it was just damages from being told that you're not right, and then everybody goes against you. I guess would play into this. And my book, I just abandoned that because, I was being attacked from every angle. Now, I don't know, maybe just I'm a crybaby. Who knows? But I think Scott Wolter, one way or the other, whether it's legal or not, should address what I'm saying. I don't want to go legal action against anybody. That's insanity. I just want to be, but I can't. How can you just let something go like that when somebody did it 6 years ago, destroys you, and you're fighting upstream, everybody's against you for 6 years, and then he puts it up again last week? I can't tolerate that. I need help. I need you people to come and go onto his sites, because he must have me in a spam or something, because he's never responded after our initial interactions. And he's never, I mean, I'm going like I'm not even there. So what do? I don't know if he's getting my messages or not, but I expect you people to help me. I expect this now. I am doing a lot of work here. I'm not complaining, but I need some help. I expect that. All right? I love you guys. Help me. Get a hold of Scott Wolter and say, you have to discuss this with Rod. An absolute must. And at some point, I'm going to just take this legal. I'm just done with this. It's nonsense. 6 years, and he puts it up again last week. I mean, you saw what slander is. It says if you keep saying stuff that's not right about somebody to more than one person at a time, he's saying it to the whole world on TV, on YouTube, on everywhere else. And History Channel is standing behind him. Now, where do we sit in the legal realm here? I don't want to go there. But I damn sure will if I don't get any resolution here.